What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for watching and supporting. We've got a great video for you guys today. We're going to talk about if Uber actually cares about its drivers. Before we jump into this video, we wanted to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Solo. Solo is the best way for drivers to simply make more money when they're on the road. Gets them access to guaranteed earnings, and the app has a ton of other features that can help you save money and make more money. On top of that, our viewers are going to get $10 just for signing up using the link in the description below. So check that out, guys, and let's dive in. So this is a complex topic because you could approach it from a lot of different outlooks, but the short answer to the question is no, they most definitely do not. If you look at all the actions that Uber has taken towards us, none of them have really ever been positive. And even right now, we're in the midst of them really attempting to quietly phase us out. They've got autonomous deliveries launching for delivery, for Uber Eats. They've got this partnership with Nuro that's a 10-year partnership. They inked that deal recently. And every action they've taken lately is just showing that they're trying to phase us out. But that's just one side of the coin, and unfortunately there's a lot. Now we can look at safety. Have they ever really cared about our safety? No. There's no type of training, there's nothing offered additionally for us to know what to do in certain scenarios. Obviously they've got little articles that are written that honestly a 3-year-old or a 5-year-old could write. It's like very basic safety knowledge, like memorize where your closest police stations are. I mean, it's stuff that's really not that helpful. And to be honest, we've seen way too many cases where drivers have gotten killed, abused, sexually assaulted. The list goes on. And in a lot of these scenarios, Uber really hasn't taken the best actions to try and defend the driver. They've almost always sided with the customer. It's really sad when you consider that we are the backbone of the company. And although I would never want to be classified as an employee, it is frustrating that when you look at the law basically says that if we're essential to the business, we need to be treated like an employee. And we definitely are essential to the business. It's catch-22. I don't want to be treated like an employee. But at the same note, I feel like something more has to be done for us, because all we've done is taken the front end of the abuse as they've tried to grow this model. And the reality is they're growing it to a point where they can do everything autonomously so they can stop paying us and they can make more money. I don't blame them. Any business needs to grow and scale, but at the same time, we're all getting thrown at, as the back burner at every move they make. So from a safety point of view, they don't care. As far as just treating us well, they don't. We're always the first ones that take the hit when some new budget cut is needed. Obviously, they'll fire internal employees, but that's just any big business is doing that. As far as the ones that are actually making the money for them day in and day out, they cut rates, they ruin some of the good features they have, they take away our ability to see, the details of a ride and see how much they're taking. The list goes on and on and on of the things they do that really make this a horrendous thing for us to continually do. The sad part is most of us will keep doing it because we've learned to rely so heavily on this income. And even though it drastically goes down, the more and more time goes by, we are dependent on it. We're dependent on that flexibility. We've maybe got families, kids, wives, husbands that have gotten used to us bringing in X amount on our spare time aside from maybe our main job, our main gig, whatever it is. It's just maddening though when you look at all of it from every perspective. And then you see the CEO go and do interviews and he talks about how we make $45 an hour on utilized hours. Not true. There's just no way that's true. You see them talking about how they're doing initiatives for us to go green, and they're incentivizing drivers to go green, to drive all electric vehicles is what I mean by that. They're incentivizing us to buy $60,000 vehicles. They've also said that by 2030, that we won't even be allowed on the platform unless we have a fully electric vehicle, because it's their attempt to reduce their carbon footprint. They give electric vehicles more money per ride, which is like outlandish considering that we've been the ones like bearing the blunt end of this all along. Most of us cannot go and afford an electric vehicle. So I look at the decisions they're making for the future. I look at the decisions they've made in the past. I look at the fact that there's been numerous wrongful deactivations of veteran drivers. There's been, and again, by veteran, just to clarify, I mean like an experienced driver. There's been times where drivers were about to hit huge bonuses that they offered and they get deactivated one ride away or one day away, or sometimes when they hit the bonus, never receive it. Then you've got a crummy, horrible support team that rarely solves issues. And when you really break this down and you look at this, you're left thinking this is honestly a horrible gig. And I know I'm not the only one that thinks it, because if you look at other YouTube videos, the comments are horrendous. If you look at anything the CEO Dara says or does, it's all drivers hating on him. And there's still things we enjoy about this. Obviously, it's not all bad, or I wouldn't still be doing it. Sometimes it's nice to just be able to go out and make a quick $100 if you need to. But the reality is that drivers do get treated like scum in this. They always side with the customer, pretty much no matter what. And unless you can, sometimes you can even prove that you're not wrong, and they'll still side with the customer. They'll deactivate you and give you no explanation. The list goes on and on and on. So all in all, guys, the conclusion is Uber doesn't care. They don't care. They've never cared. It's only ever been about their bottom line, which is every business, so that's understandable. But you gotta treat the backbone of the business better than it has. And as much as I love how my life has honestly changed and benefited from being an Uber driver, I've started a business because of this. At the same time, there's a part of me that hopes that they never make it to that next phase. But I think they're too big to fall at this point. And one day we'll all be phased out and the drivers will all be forgotten as this autonomous iRobot driving service delivers food, picks people up, hopefully doesn't kill people on the way. But that's just kind of what it's going to become. So anyways, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Check out Solo so you can at least make some more decent money while you're out there these days. There's a link in the description below. And stay tuned for more updates.